Saying the word no takes less than a second. The guilt can last for days. It is a heavy, sinking feeling in your chest, a chorus of inner voices that call you selfish, a bad friend, a difficult person. The peace you were trying to claim by setting a boundary is immediately stolen by the prison guard inside your own mind. You were taught that your value lies in your yes, in your availability, in your willingness to give. And so you have learned to fear your own no more than you fear your own exhaustion. But what if that guilt is not your conscience? What if it is a ghost? The echo of an old survival program that you no longer need, but that is still running your life? What if, as the great psychologist Carl Jung suggested, this feeling is not a reflection of your character, but a symptom of your conditioning? Your guilt is the most powerful chain that keeps your shadow locked away. It is the force that prevents you from honoring your own needs, from protecting your own energy. And to begin the real work of shadow work, you must first understand the nature of the chain. This video is not about becoming a person who doesn't care. It is about becoming a person who understands that caring for yourself is not a crime. It is your birthright, and it is time to start picking the lock.
Why does a word as simple as no feel like a weapon in your mouth? Why does choosing yourself, even for a moment, feel like a profound act of betrayal? The answer is not that you are a bad person. The answer is that you have been trained to be a good one. Let's talk about Emily. Emily is 38, a mother of 2 wonderful, energetic children. She is the heart of her community. If the school needs a volunteer for the bake sale, Emily says yes. If a neighbor needs someone to watch their kids for an hour, Emily says yes. If her sister calls, needing to vent about her day for the 3rd time this week, Emily picks up the phone and says yes. Her identity, the mask she presents to the world, is that of the capable, giving mom, the one who can handle it all, the one who never complains, the one whose well of generosity never runs dry. And people love her for it. They praise her. They rely on her. Her persona is a masterpiece of selfless competence. But there's a cost, a hidden tax on every single yes. Last month, her son's school was planning its annual spring festival. The lead organizer stepped down at the last minute. In the meeting, a heavy silence fell over the room. All eyes turned to Emily. She could feel it, the expectation. Inside, a small, tired voice screamed, "Please, not me! I have nothing left to give." Her anger, the guardian we spoke of, was sending up flares, warning her of an impending energy crisis. But another voice, much louder, much more practiced, took over. The voice of guilt. It whispered, "If you don't do it, the festival will be ruined. The kids will be disappointed. Everyone will think you're selfish, a bad mother." And so the small, true voice was silenced. Emily smiled, and she said, "Of course, I can do it." Yes. For the next 4 weeks, her life became a blur of phone calls, spreadsheets, and frantic errands. She was running on caffeine and adrenaline. Her own creative projects gathered dust. She snapped at her husband over small things. She was physically present with her children, but her mind was a million miles away, worrying about decorations and volunteer schedules. The joy she was trying to create for others was being paid for with the joy of her own life. The festival was a huge success. Everyone told Emily she was a lifesaver, a hero. She should have felt proud. But as she stood in her kitchen that night, surrounded by leftover cupcakes and thank you cards, she felt nothing. Just a profound, hollow emptiness and a terrifying thought. I said yes to all of them, but somewhere along the way, I said no to me. This is the tyranny of the good persona, as Carl Jung would describe it. Your persona is the you that is acceptable to society, the good employee, the loving mother, the supportive friend. It is a necessary and important part of life. But the danger comes when we over-identify with it, when we believe that the mask is our entire face. To protect this persona, we exile any part of ourselves that threatens it. And for the good person, the greatest threat is the shadow of so-called selfishness. This shadow holds all of your sacred, life-giving needs. The need for rest, the need for solitude, the need to pursue your own joy, the need to say, I can't, I'm sorry. Guilt is the prison guard that the persona hires to keep that shadow locked up. Every time you consider saying no, the guard steps forward. It doesn't use bars of steel. It uses your own empathy against you. It uses your desire to be a good person as a weapon to keep you in line. It tells you that your needs are dangerous, that your boundaries are an attack, that your no is a rejection of love itself. And so to avoid the terrible feeling of guilt, you betray yourself. You say yes, and with every yes that is a lie, you add another brick to the wall of your own prison. You drain another drop of water from your own well. You silence another whisper from your own soul. The burnout that Emily feels is not from the work. It is from the constant, soul-crushing effort of self-suppression. The emptiness she feels is not a lack of gratitude. It is the legitimate grief for a self that has been abandoned. Her shadow work, and yours, begins with the courageous act of looking at the prison guard, of questioning its authority, of asking the simple, terrifying question, what if you are wrong? What if my no is not a betrayal of them, but an act of loyalty to me? To question your guilt feels like sacrilege. It feels like questioning the very fabric of your goodness, because the prison guard of guilt is a master of disguise. It doesn't present itself as a tyrant. It presents itself as your conscience, as your empathy, as your love. And this is the core of its power, and the secret to dismantling it. Carl Jung taught that our deepest behaviors are driven by archetypal forces. The good person persona is deeply connected to the caregiver archetype. Your identity is built on helping, nurturing, and supporting. And so you have developed a powerful, almost psychic sensitivity to the needs and feelings of others. You can feel their disappointment before they even express it. You can anticipate their needs before they even ask. This is a beautiful gift. But here is the distortion. You have been trained to be loyal to their feelings, above and beyond your loyalty to your own. Your guilt is not a measure of your morality. It is a measure of your loyalty. The problem is, you are pledging allegiance to the wrong kingdom. Think of it this way. When you were a child, your survival, both physical and emotional, depended entirely on the approval of the adults around you. Your nervous system, in its infinite wisdom, created a powerful equation. To be agreeable was to be safe. To have needs was to become a threat. Saying yes meant connection. Saying no carried the terrifying risk of abandonment or punishment. So you learned. You became an expert at reading the room. You learned to suppress your own desires, your own fatigue, your own truth, in order to maintain connection. Guilt, in this childhood kingdom, was a brilliant survival mechanism. It was the internal alarm that screamed, "Warning, you are about to displease a powerful figure. This is dangerous. Retreat. Say yes." And it worked. It kept you safe. It ensured you were loved. But you are no longer in that kingdom. You are a sovereign adult. Your survival no longer depends on the unconditional approval of others. And yet, the old alarm system is still active. The guard is still at his post, running a program that is decades out of date. When you try to say no today, the guard doesn't see a reasonable adult setting a healthy boundary. It sees a small, vulnerable child risking abandonment. It pulls the emergency brake of guilt with all its might, flooding your system with the terrifying feeling that you have done something fundamentally wrong, that you are selfish. This is the heart of the shadow work around guilt, to see it not as a present-day truth, but as an echo from the past, a ghost in the machine, a loyal but misguided soldier fighting a war that has long been over. And the word selfish? Let's look at that word. It has been the primary weapon used to keep you in your cell. But what does it actually mean? In the programming of the people-pleaser, selfish means, I have needs. I have limits. I am a separate person from you. These are not definitions of selfishness. These are definitions of selfhood, of having a self. To have needs is not selfish. It is human. To have limits is not selfish. It is essential for survival. To be a separate person is not selfish. It is the truth of your existence. The great lie you have been taught is that in any interaction there must be a giver and a taker, and your role is to be the giver always. Because to be the taker, even for a moment, is to be selfish. But this is a false dichotomy. A healthy relationship is not a one-way street of sacrifice. It is a dance of reciprocity. It is two whole people, each tending to their own garden and sharing the harvest. You have been so busy tending to everyone else's garden that your own has turned to dust. Saying no is not a selfish act. It is the act of beginning to water your own garden. It is the act of declaring that you too are worthy of care. It is the act of shifting your primary loyalty from the kingdom of what do they need from me to the kingdom of what do I need for myself. This is terrifying because the old guard, the guilt, will scream bloody murder. It will tell you that you are abandoning your post, that you are betraying your people. Your work is not to fight the guard. Your work is to thank him for his service and gently inform him that the war is over. To say, I appreciate you trying to keep me safe, but I am safe now. I am grown now, and I am in charge. To see the prison guard of guilt for what it is, an outdated program, is the beginning of freedom. But knowing it is a program is not enough. You must begin to write a new code. You must offer your nervous system a new story, a new truth to replace the old one. This is not done through force. It is done through gentle, consistent, conscious inquiry. This is the heart of shadow work. Here are 3 powerful journal prompts, 3 keys you can use to begin unlocking the cage of guilt. Find a quiet moment. Take out your journal, and let's begin the work. The first key is a question. Whose voice is this? The next time you say no, or even just think about saying no,
and that familiar, sickening wave of guilt washes over you, pause, breathe, and ask yourself this question. The voice that is calling me selfish right now, whose voice is it really? Listen closely. Does it sound like your mother, who always taught you to put others first? Does it sound like your father, who valued agreeableness above all else? Does it sound like a teacher, a religious leader, a first boss? That voice of judgment is almost never your own. It is an echo, an internalization of an external authority from your past. In your journal, write it down. My guilt has the voice of, and name the source. The moment you can identify the voice, you create separation. You realize, that is not me. That is not my truth. That is their fear, their belief, their programming. You are not fighting the voice. You are simply recognizing it for what it is, an echo. And an echo has no real power over you. The second key is a reframe. What am I truly saying yes to? For your entire life, your no has been framed as an act of rejection, a withdrawal of love. We must rewrite this story. Every no to an external request is a yes to an internal need. This is a revolutionary reframe that shifts the entire energy of setting a boundary. The next time you struggle to say no, take out your journal and complete this sentence. By saying no to the specific request, I am saying a powerful yes to, and fill in the blank with the truth of what you are protecting. My need for rest, my mental health, my time with my children, my own creative fire, my peace of mind. See what this does? It transforms your no from a negative, selfish act into a positive, life-affirming act of self-care. You are no longer just rejecting something. You are choosing something. You are choosing yourself. You are not taking something away from them. You are giving something sacred back to yourself. Practice this every time. Write it down. Feel the shift in your body as you move from the energy of guilt to the energy of devotion. Devotion to your own well-being. The third and final key is an affirmation, the permission statement. The old programming runs on a deeply embedded belief that you do not have the right to put yourself first. We must write a new, more powerful belief to override it. This is an act of conscious reprogramming. In your journal, I want you to write a permission statement that speaks directly to your deepest fear. It should feel a little dangerous, a little rebellious. That's how you know it's working. Here are some examples. Choose one that resonates or write your own. I give myself permission to disappoint others in order not to betray myself. My needs are just as valid as anyone else's needs. My peace is non-negotiable. I am allowed to be my own priority. Write it down. Put it on a sticky note on your mirror. Make it the wallpaper on your phone. Say it out loud to yourself in the car. This statement is your new code. It is the new truth you are offering to the old, frightened part of your brain. At first, it will feel like a lie. Your whole system will scream in protest. The prison guard will rattle the bars. That is normal. Your job is to just keep repeating the new code. Gently. Consistently. You are planting a new seed in the garden of your mind.
With enough repetition, with enough conscious attention, this new seed will grow. Its roots will become stronger than the old programming. And one day, it will become your new automatic truth. These 3 keys: identifying the voice, reframing the no, writing the permission. They are not magic spells. They are tools of awareness. They are the slow, steady, courageous work of taking back your own mind, of reclaiming your own authority, of dismantling a prison not with a sledgehammer, but by patiently, lovingly turning one key at a time.
The keys are now in your hand. The locks on the cage are no longer unbreakable. You have been given a new map, a new way to see the landscape of your own inner world. The journey of releasing guilt, as Carl Jung's work on the shadow teaches us, is not about becoming cold or uncaring. It is the exact opposite. It is about filling your own well so completely that your generosity becomes a true and joyful gift, not a painful tax you are forced to pay. It is about reclaiming your energy so you can offer your presence to the world from a place of fullness, not from the fumes of depletion. For too long, your no has been a source of shame. Today, we begin the sacred work of transforming it into a source of power. Your no is not a wall you build to keep people out. It is the foundation you lay to build a true and authentic home for yourself. It is the sacred circle you draw in the sand within which your peace, your energy, and your needs are honored and protected. It is the ultimate act of self-love. This will not be easy at first. The old programming is strong. The prison guard of guilt will not go quietly. It will shout, it will bargain, it will try to convince you that your freedom is a betrayal. Your work is to breathe through the discomfort, to hold your new truth like a compass in a storm, to remember that the discomfort of setting a boundary is temporary. The pain of self-abandonment is chronic. You are choosing a different kind of pain, the growing pain of becoming more yourself. And that is a pain that leads not to emptiness, but to wholeness. So I invite you to make a commitment to this practice, not to be perfect, but to be curious. Let's continue to build this space of shared courageous truth. In the comments below, I want you to share one no you have struggled to say recently. What was the request? Who was it to? What did the voice of guilt tell you? By writing it down, you bring it out of the shadows and into the light. You allow 1,000 other women to read your story and whisper, "Me too." And as you begin this practice of saying no, of tending to your own garden, you may start to notice the true long-term cost of all the years you said yes. You may begin to feel the bone-deep weariness that comes from a lifetime of self-abandonment. It is a state beyond mere tiredness. It is burnout. And in our next video, we will look directly at this profound state of depletion. We will explore burnout not as a failure of time management, but as a desperate signal from your shadow that a fundamental change is no longer a choice, but a necessity. It is a call for a revolution of the soul. Until then, be kind to yourself as you practice. Celebrate the small victories. Forgive yourself when you slip back into old patterns. You are dismantling a prison that took a lifetime to build. Be patient, be brave. You are on your way home.